So hello LEGO fans, and on today's episode I want to start off by saying thank you so much for the 100 subscribers. We actually hit a total of 104 for the moment, which is absolutely incredible. I've got to admit, starting this a few months ago, didn't think I was going to get there, so it's a really nice thing to have actually reached. Thanks for everyone for the support, all the likes and comments, always really much appreciated. As promised, when I was going to pass 100 subscribers, I said I was going to do a room tour. So here we go. Before I started this channel, my wife amazingly gave this room, which is actually our front room in our house, to me to use as my LEGO room. Now, I don't think that was all necessarily purely for my entertainment. I think the fact that actually we were having constantly bits of LEGO everywhere that we were standing on, and I would like to point out probably not just me, but probably my kids as well, meant that she wanted a bit more organization. So for my birthday in January, amazingly, she got me a lot more organized bits for this room, and actually our dining table, which is my LEGO building table, is now my main building site. So yeah, so let's have a little look at what we've created so far. One of the things that I've had for quite some time has actually been my old Billy bookshelves, which I actually had some glass doors put on, just because I think with the dust and trying to sort of keep things clean, it's always important to try and do that. So in this display cabinet, we've got mainly my Batman sort of sets at the top. I'm just a massive fan, if you probably haven't heard by now on my previous videos, of the 1989 Batman films, the one with Michael Keaton, directed by Tim Burton. For me, they're some of the best Batman films. I tried watching one with my kids. My son got a little bit freaked out by the Joker, played by Jack Nicholson, so we're going to try that again sometime. But the Batwing, one of my favorite sets, along with the Batmobile there, classic. And then I've got one of the tumblers as well here from the Christopher Nolan films. Again, just outstanding films. Massive fan of that trilogy. The Dark Knight is absolutely incredible. Now what you'll notice is that there's a little bit of bits and bobs that are not quite right in these sets or on these display shelves. That's the joy of having kids. My kids just absolutely love to come into my cupboards, even though they know that the stuff behind glass normally is daddy LEGO, and the stuff that's out is usually stuff that they can play with as a rule of thumb, but there are some exceptions. But yes, down below, we've got a few sets from my all-time favourite film, that's Jurassic Park. So we've got the Rampage set, we've got the gate at the bottom. I managed to find a second-hand set from the scene where the Velociraptor is breaking into the control room, which is just, yeah, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to probably make it a little bit of a mock, so I'm going to change that a little bit, and I have done already because it normally is in two parts, and I did it as a two-floor section. And then we've got one of the LEGO Creator sets down there with the dinosaurs. I'm probably going to try and get another one of those because I'd love to make a Brachiosaurus or a Diplodocus set as well, just to sort of complete the set of the four main dinosaurs that we've got. But yes, definitely some of my favourites. Moving on, so I realised that actually with some of the sets, the things that's quite tricky is that the size. So the Billy bookshelves are fine, but actually they don't fit anything that's bigger than a 32 by 32 base plate. And when you're looking at some bigger sets, including one of my other all-time favourites, actually it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's where we come into the Besta units. Again, IKEA's finest. Really good sets, actually. I love these with the doors and the push function. I think they're just absolutely brilliant. And actually on these sets, you'll see that I've got a few ideas that I'm planning on working on. So I've got a lot of the Marvel sort of minifigs up here. The What If series are just an amazing set of minifigs. I really love those. So I managed to collect all of those, luckily, with the old feeling technique, but unfortunately that's going to be a little bit more tricky with the upcoming series 2 of those. Guardians of the Galaxy, by far and away my favourite Marvel film. So I've been lucky enough to get quite a few of the minifigures in there, including Yondu, which I think is just an incredible minifig, with a couple of pups in the background as well, just because I think it's a brilliant film. Absolutely love that one. Moving on, there's some of the classic vehicles. The VW Camper T1, which I think is just an amazing camper. I think a lot of people are fans of that one. And the GT by Ford, so the Mustang, absolutely incredible. And yes, the Bionicles in there, which my son just had to add. And yep, this is when we're coming to some of my other favourite films. So the Ecto-1. So I actually did a rebrickable version of this one, which is more in keeping with the films rather than, as in the original films, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, rather than Afterlife, just because I didn't want it to look rusty and things. So I did redo that one. Really love it though. Absolutely amazing, amazing set. So then moving on to one of my projects that I'm working on. So I've not ever done any city projects, and this is probably going to be my first one. My all-time favourite set and my star of my collection, I would probably say, is the Ghostbusters headquarters. Got this one on eBay. Absolutely love it. Cost me a bit of an arm and a leg, but it's an absolutely incredible set. It has, well, yeah, it feels a bit sad that it's kind of kept behind glass, but it's just such a pretty set. I don't want my kids to be messing around and breaking that one. And another one of my favourites, this is the only actual modular that I have. So the building sets, the diner, I think is just incredible. I really love that one. And you'll see I've got a slight collection here of monsters. That's because I'm planning on doing some seasonal type displays, and I would really love to do a Halloween display there. Underneath is absolute carnage, but my idea for this particular section is to do an underground scene with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Again, my favourite cartoon growing up as a child, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first and second film, absolutely incredible. Third one, a little bit strange going back into sort of ancient Japan, but still an incredible films. So that is going to be a scene that I'm making with the idea that this is New York at the top, and then at the bottom we're going to have the probably the lair, and then maybe a subway section with a bit of track. So that will be a project I'll be working on, so stay tuned. Remember, if you want to, subscribe, keep up to date, hit that notification button. You'll get a ping every time I upload a video, and that would be really brilliant. Really helps to support the channel. So another theme that my son and I really like is the Monkey Kid set. So this is part of the Cloud Temple. Amazing set. Yes, you'll notice down here I've got a bit of an army going on with some of the Falcons, some of the Lions, Knights, and then some of the Vikings in the back. So that is something that I'm currently working on expanding, but I think I'm probably roughly there where I want to get to in terms of size of the armies, and that's going to go and contribute to some of the MOCs that you probably have seen. I'm building on, and we'll show you that a little bit later in the video. With a big sort of scenery with the castles sets. And then at the bottom I've got a couple of Star Wars sets, Poe Dameron's X-Wing, got a TIE Fighter there, and the Millennium Falcon as well. And then on this side we've got Bo-Katan's ship, we got the Slave One, although it's not Slave One anymore, thanks Disney. And then we've got the Razor Crest as well as some Din Djarin sets, and Ahsoka versus Darth Maul. And it looks like Darth Maul's gone walkabouts. So yeah, a few projects, as you can see, going on with these display units. So that's the one side of my room. On the other side of my room, so this is a current massive work in progress. I'm basically just dumping sets here for the moment once I've done them. Absolutely incredible set in the background, the Rivendell set. Took us a few weeks to do that for me and my son. Amazing set. So I'll be probably doing a review of that set coming up soon. But just absolutely incredible, wonderful set. My idea for this section of the room is I'm going to put a shelf up here, and then whether or not I put my Ninjago city sets up at the top, I'm not quite sure yet. It depends, I think, on the height and where I can go, because I've got the city markets and the city gardens to make as well. And I'd really like to make a bit of a MOC to add to that set as well, to just unify them all a little bit more. And I don't have the docks, so the docks I think would be an addition, but probably not one I can afford, because that set is really pricey nowadays. So yeah, so there'll be a Lord of the Rings section here. I've actually got a couple more sets that I want to add to that, which I just need to make, but I would again like to elaborate those models and those sets, in particular the Shire and the Tower of Orthanc, which are just incredible sets. Again, I've got to stop saying incredible, but they are absolutely brilliant, and Lord of the Rings films, just outstanding, brilliant to watch them again. And behind here, unfortunately, because I had nowhere to put Ninjago City. We've got the other Monkey Kid set in the background there with the mountain. So yeah, as I mentioned, incredible sets that I really love these sets. They're just so detailed and fun. And I think they go really nicely with the Ninjago sets, but my idea is to probably create a scene again here with the Cloud Temple in the background at the top, and then have a mountain scene here. So basically altering that set to make those. That's again a project I need to work on, plan, and have a really hard think about. And then you can see some of my chaos and disorder here with some of my daughter's Disney sets. Here we've got one of my little mocks that I made for a funny little sort of scientist / GP room. Some of my GP educational creations here with Lego elves in the background. Some Pab cups that I need to sort out. I'm sure everyone who's probably a little bit more of an adult fan of Lego has some of those lying around. And then here we've got some more of my Lego GP sets that I've made for some of my videos. And if you haven't checked those out, please have a look at those. I'd really appreciate your thoughts on those. So I've made a couple of videos, one on the cardiovascular system, so the heart, and one on blood. My next one that I'm thinking about doing is on lungs and the respiratory system. So stay tuned, and hopefully I'll be working on that one soon. So as mentioned before, my dining table / Lego table, which is currently being invaded by my kids who have been playing. So I recently got them some 2 new Lego Dreams sets. So we'll be releasing a little, I think, review of those as well coming up. But the kids really enjoyed making those and have been playing with those non-stop since they made them. A lot of fun and a great series. So a real hit from Lego there. And then finally, on this side of the room, we've got my storage. Yes, well, when you've got Lego, you need to store it somewhere. And I think I followed the trend of the IKEA Alex sets, which I've got to say are brilliant drawers, really good height, but just hard to stay on top of in terms of tidiness, especially when you've got kids who just love plundering your drawers to take all the minifigs out and characters and bits and bobs to make their sets. But it's fine. It's nice to have it structured and organized. But yes, my little mock scene creation, as you probably have seen in my videos for those. And if you haven't seen those video series, currently up to number 4, please check out the playlist. It's always nice to get some ideas, so leave a comment, leave your thoughts on what you might want to see in those videos. Always nice to have some inspiration, and as you can see, there's a lot to do. So yeah, this is my Lego room. As you can see, it's a work in progress, but I think every person's Lego room and collection probably is. I've got a few sets up there that I need to look at sorting out, some more pressing than others. And one thing I forgot to mention was my Slight Mech collection. So we've got some of the Ninjago mechs that I think are just brilliant. In particular, this one was introduced to me by a friend of mine, so thanks Shando if you're watching. This is your fault. Just some really great sets. I've got the Zane mech that I need to try and fix because that was my son's set, and as you can imagine with little boys and Lego, they don't always stay in one piece. But yeah, so my idea will be to put some more mechs up here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the pirate ship. I don't really want to part it out because I think it is a good looking set. But eventually I'd like to tidy this shelf up, put some more bits up here. As I said, add some more shelving up here to allow for 2 different stages and platforms. And then again on this side here would be the idea to make another shelving area here to add another scene up here. So I'd have the possibility of having 4 fairly large scenes and possibly sort of rotate them around, because I think that'd be quite cool. So as I've probably said a few times, thank you so much again for watching my channel. I hope you enjoy the content that I'm putting up. Please do think about subscribing if you haven't already. Do pass on my channel details to your friends. It really is appreciated to see the channel grow, as I've said at the beginning. I'm hopefully working on a few projects, just have to think about what I'm going to do next. There's quite a few ideas that I want to do. Do I keep going with the castle? Do I start doing some more of the medical education videos? Do I start working on my other mocks? There's lots of things that I can do, and unfortunately there's only so much time that I have to actually make those things happen. But yeah, hit the like button if you want, leave a comment, subscribe. Any help that you can provide to the channel is really appreciated. Thanks again for your time, and hope you have a lovely day.